welcome back, everyone, for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look ahead to all of the new comics coming out this Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. I'm going to give you a rundown on things on my pull list, some variants to keep an eye out for, things I just can't wait to read, and other surprises that may be heading your way before you get to your shops this week and do your comic book pickups. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And if you want to see this week's rundown, don't worry, I got you covered. I'll be right back as soon as this quick little intro plays. All right, well, let's get right to it and get right into my pull list. These are my top of the pile type stuff, the books I just can't wait to get a hold of this week to catch up on my reading and see what's going on in this week's books. So first up for my top of the pile pull list, I want to talk about, well, the absolute side of things over at DC, starting off with this week's Absolute Batman number 8, as we are getting more of Mr. Freeze here. A completely reimagined Mr. Freeze, and an interesting take, if you ask me. Again, I've not been a huge supporter of this series. I've liked it, but there have been things they've chosen along the way that just really weren't my cup of tea, and that's, just my opinion. You guys are free to, establish your own as this goes. But that all said, overall, I still am enjoying this book, and I'm still picking it up and looking forward to it every month. And here we get another issue with issue 8. Cover A here. A lot of good covers on this one with a pretty solid cover B. I like how we got the letters kind of breaking out, framing Batman there. I like this little arced play on the trade dress here as well, despite the fact that I do not like the axe. Again, that's one of my little problems with, I was going to say pet peeves, but it's not like a overarching thing. I just think that Batman having an axe chest plate is kind of a silly thing. That's all. Personal opinion. But amongst all of these, my favorite probably has to be the Brian Boland, because this is just a creepy, creepy picture of this reimagined Mr. Freeze, and just those haunting eyes and the darkness and the elongated arms. It's just creepy. It just makes you uneasy and makes you want to look away, but then look some more. So I enjoyed this cover quite a bit. It's my favorite, and that's the one I'm going to get for this book personally. But there are incentives too. If you want to get the 1 in 25, there is a 1 in 25, despite the fact that Batman's head looks really, really tiny on this one. And then there is a 1 in 50 option here as well, which, again, it's kind of cool. I mean, I still am not getting how his cape works in this new Absolute universe. It's almost like it's a pinwheel. There's 4 capes. I don't know. But it makes for a cool image, but I don't know why he looks like an octopus. That's all. With that said, one of my other favorite titles running over on DC right now, I mentioned Batgirl again. I recommended it last week, but I'm really enjoying Green Lantern Corps over there as well. I like when they have all of the lanterns interplay and interacting with one another. Yes, I'm a big fan of Hal. Hal is my favorite Green Lantern, but I do like seeing the others kind of, like I said, mixing it up with one another and kind of more in a group atmosphere. So that's why I do like seeing titles like Green Lantern Corps. Cover A here. I also am enjoying this opening arc that they've had running so far, but we'll see where it goes. We've got a couple other cover options as well. We got a B cover here. We got Kyle, also like Kyle. And then we do have a pretty solid Star Sapphire by John Boy Myers, which I kind of like. I considered putting this in as one of my top 5 for the week, but there was a lot of covers that just felt very familiar, like I've seen this recently, so I just kind of let them be and just kind of went in a different direction with my top 5, as you'll see if you check out the shorts that I have here on the channel as well. But with that said, there is a 1 in 25 option. If you're interested there, you can find it. If you're looking for under ratio, well under ratio if you want it, but there is a 1 in 25 there with John Stewart and Simon Baz, a couple other lanterns in the mix. Now, also, another book that I'm looking forward to is the second part of I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer. Sorry, got tongue-tied for a minute. I like the opening issue. Looking forward to the second. I recommend you give it a read. Solid read so far. Here's issue 2. Here's the cover A, which ain't bad. Cover B is kind of interesting, and if you didn't know, this is an homage to a classic Vogue cover featuring Beyonce. So, boom, there you go. Just like we had the Janet Jackson cover on the prior issue, it looks like we're going with famous magazine covers here as like the B cover options, which I think is a fun idea to do with a title like this, where you know, we see things like Stray Dogs and Feral doing horror movies. So why not do fashion mags for a book that's kind of related to the fashion world? Makes sense to me. And those are the covers I've actually pre-ordered for this title. But I also do like the 1 in 10 here. The 1 in 10 option here is also pretty cool. It's kind of nasty when you think about it, that it's a decapitated torso and head that's being used for makeup and, you know, design aspects, but it is kind of cool image. That said, moving on, let's get on to one of my favorite parts of the image side of things these days, and that is the Energon universe. As you know, I'm biased, big fan, G.I. Joe, Transformers. That was my wheelhouse growing up. So not surprising, I'm into this. And I'm into this kind of retelling, reimagining of everything. I like it so far. I'm on board. And this Energon Universe special has me kind of excited, because you'll see why as we move on a little bit forward. Yes, we're talking G.I. Joes, Transformers, and Void Rivals ain't bad. But perfect jumping on point for new readers? Sure. Cover A, I really like this cover B option from Daniel Warren Johnson. I know it just has just the albums, like all the record store with the toys on the counter there. It just feels like a place that I've been before. It reminds me of like High Fidelity, John Cusack's record shop, and just a number of other places that I'm sure you've all walked into before. Old school records, posters everywhere, toys and figures and statues, weird collectibles. Yeah, I like it. So I really dig this B cover option here, as well as a 1 in 10, which we do have the quintessence there on the front of that one. And then 1 in 25, we got a design cover here. I think that's what, Hound? I think we're featuring Hound there, which is also kind of cool. But then again, the thing that's got me kind of a little extra excited is the 1 in 50 option here, which is previewing that looks like we're getting Mask. And I knew this was kind of coming, or I kind of hoped it was kind of coming, and we've seen this huge kind of crossover before with the Hasbro titles over on IDW, but I'm more excited for it here in what they're doing on the image side of things and Skybound. So I'm looking forward to their take on Mask, Mobile Armored Strike Command. I know it's not a property that was for everyone, but I liked it as a kid. I forgot. It's sort of the t-shirt I was going to plan to wear for the show today, but I forgot that I was doing this. But I am looking forward to this 1 in 50. I'm not going to go purchasing it because it's not like the greatest cover. It is a design cover, but it does get me excited for what's to come, if that makes sense. Now, with that said, let's move off of this title and go to one of the main titles in the Energon universe side of things, and that is Transformers, where we got issue 20. Yes, you can see the silhouette, the shadow of where we've been, who we're talking about. We got Megatron back here coming after Starscream, who's still attached to his tank. It's just fun stuff. There is a spoiler cover option here as well as for the B cover, and I'm going to spoil it for you. If you don't want to know, just close your eyes for a few seconds and your ears. Jump ahead maybe a minute or two. But what we're getting is a line of toys that I remember getting as a kid, and those were the Aerial Bots. The Aerial Bots, I remember seeing them in Sears. I think it was like a Sears or a Sears Surplus in like the 1-pack with all 5 of them, and remember asking and begging my parents for it for Christmas. And then, what do you know? I think Santa brought it that year. But with that said, the Aerial Bots forming Superion, I mean, sure, it was bound to happen. We've had the Constructicons, we've had Bruticus. We're seeing a lot of the big combiner Transformers, so why not get the Aerial Bots in the mix here? That's the spoiler cover. We do have a 1 in 10 connecting cover here by David Nakayama. I was going to show you how they connect, but so far, the first 2 parts with issues 19 and 20, they don't meet up with each other. So we'll have to see how this builds out over time. I'm feeling this is going to be a bigger than normal. It's not a side-by-side stretch shot that we've normally had. So it might play out differently because, as you can see here, we got Devastator's shoulder and arm in the background, and then I think the Megatron cover we had earlier had one of his legs, so I think it's going to be more of a stand-up kind of a connecting cover, but we'll see as it plays out. That's the 1 in 10. There is a 1 in 25 option here too, with the one-arm Megatron fighting Blitzwing, and then we do have a 1 in 50 option here too with pretty cool I think it's Jazz, right? Jazz was the Porsche. But I like it. I like the blue. I like the silhouette, almost like in the shadow. You get the draw, the silhouette of the Transformer inside the silhouette of the vehicle. I don't know. I like it. That said, it's a 1 in 50, and I'm not paying 1 in 50 prices. Even though you can find these under ratio, it's still a bit pricey for me. I'm fine getting that spoiler cover on this one and being good to go. Now, after some delays, we are getting Battle Beast #1 this week out of the Invincible universe. I know you guys remember Battle Beast. He was very, very popular when he first showed up in season 1 of the animated show, and then he just kind of went away, and people have been itching for him to come back. That said, Battle Beast is a popular character and probably one of the most popular characters outside of Invincible himself as part of that Invincible universe. Now, we're getting a new #1 here with a lot of covers and some more. So let me try my best to explain. Here's cover A's. We got B covers and C covers. Well, here's B cover, sketch cover options for you. And then we actually have blind bags. Now, as I understand it, these blind bags can have any of the following covers that I've shown you included, as well as some other special stuff that they did not announce. Some things have been spoiled by some whatnot sellers, I believe, opening up packs over the weekend a little early, and they kind of spoiled some of the surprises inside. I'm not going to show you the surprises. I will mention that there are some reprints, as Image has done. So some of them are going to be like first appearances, reprints, new cover art, recolored cover art, etc. Almost like facsimiles, but a little bit different. That kind of thing is what I'm seeing out of some of what we've seen as some of the blind bag possibilities. That said, what more is in there? Who knows? They didn't give like a full list of all the options of what you're going to get because it's supposed to be a bit of a surprise. So we will see over time what else can come out of these blind bags. As I also read, this title has a huge print run, like 400,000 plus, which is a number not easily reached in the modern comic market. I mean, most titles these days are under 10. Their print runs are under 10 for a lot of them, I'm just saying. Even though we don't got the numbers that publish anymore, some reports have put this book that high because of retailer orders and these blind bags. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of these out there. And the blind bags will be fun to open, but just keep that in mind when we're talking about the regular covers here, I guess. With that said, there is a 1 in 10. Why? I don't know. I guess they just felt like putting that in the mix, but there is a 1 in 10 option. There is a 1 in 25 option, as you might guess as well. Almost looks like a wrap cover pose with that kind of lean that he's got going there. 1 in 50 options here as well. And again, any of these could be in the blind bags, as I understand it as well. So you got the 1 in 50 option here. I think it's R. Adams. We do have a foil 1 in 100 by John Boy. He did some of the foil G.I. Joes and I think Cobra Commander, etc. The Energon side, 1 in 100 foils. So he's doing a 1 in 100 foil here. There is also another foil option, which is a 1 in 1,000. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's the print run of this thing. We're talking in 1 in 1,000s. So there is a foil 1 in 1,000 here. And not only that, there is a 1 in 2,000 sketch cover. Now, this is an example of one of the sketch covers that's been revealed so far. I'm assuming these are all going to be individual because they're sketches, so they're all going to be unique in some way. 1 in 2,000. Good luck. Good luck if you're going to go hunt something like this, because I don't know how many places will order 2,000 copies, but more than you might think, considering all the blind bags. So if you see a place that has a lot of blind bags, they might have these incentives as well, so you can inquire there. Now, blind bags mean poly bags, and while we're talking poly bags, let's get to the next title I'm looking forward to as part of my pull list, and that is Exquisite Corpses. A lot of talk about this book going into this with some Ashcan releases at some of the cons that we've already passed, and the ECC, etc. So this book has already gotten a little bit of heat going. It's the next new title out of James Tiny Onion. I never know how to say his name right. Tiny Onion, so it's probably Tinyan. But anyway, he and Michael Walsh put together this title that, to me, kind of reads like we're getting a little bit of a live-action Fortnite. Well, I mean, it's like a Fortnite mixed with The Purge. I don't know, but it's kind of cool, and I'm kind of intrigued. So I'm looking forward to reading this. This is the cover A. I like it. Very solid for a cover A option. B cover's okay, and we see, I guess, one of the other players, combatants in this thing. Like I said, it's almost like Fortnite, where these are almost selectable characters. Then we do have another one featuring this sword-wielding fox character here by Jenny Frison. Again, looks like covers I've seen before on like Something is Killing the Children and like House of Slaughter, etc. So that's why I didn't put this one in my top picks, though it is a very nice cover, and I do really like Jenny Frison. It's just familiarity with some of these kind of kept them out of my my picking this week. Sketch cover options as well. If you want to get a blank, there's going to be a blank. And then this title also has a polybag option because they have some like collectible trading cards, or not trading. Well, I don't know if it's a game card. There's a card game associated with this. So with those cards, they will be blind bagged in these polybag versions. So you won't be able to, as I understand it, you won't be able to cheat to see what's inside. Not like the old school X-Forces where you can see the cards when you just flip it over on the back. Apparently, you're not going to be able to see through or figure out what cards you get. I think there's supposed to be some foil options, etc. Who knows? A lot of comics these days are going the card market route, which is fun, but also concerning to me personally. Because while it's fun to not know what you're getting inside a pack of cards, it's not the same market. Because I'm not just buying a card that I want to look at the cover of it. When I buy a comic book, personally, I want to open it up and read it. And that's as much important to me as whatever they might slap on the cover. And by doing different covers, you let me pick and choose which one I want to buy. And if I have to pay a premium for something, I will do that. But I don't want to have to chase a cover that I like and also just to read the story. I don't know. I just don't like the idea totally. So I'm just not 100% on board with the blind bag thing. It's kind of fun. I've taken part. I like it a little bit, but it still makes me a little uneasy. Just saying. We can have a broader conversation about this somewhere else down the road. It's just something that, again, it just makes me a little uneasy in where things are going, which is too many options of this going forward. Because, I mean, look at all these covers we've got, despite the fact that you got these poly bags. Then we got a 1 in 25 here with a big rabbit head. We got a 1 in 50 option here as well, if you want to go that route. And then, yes, there is a 1 in 100 by Jay Lee. Pretty cool. It also reminds me of a Something Is Killing the Children cover. It just does. But with that said, oh, we're still not done because there apparently is also a foil cover of the cover A that appears to be just one of those, maybe one per store thank you. So like a secret foil cover that goes out. You remember back in the day, they used to have foil covers with the trade dress was foil for all new Image #1s. Maybe they're kind of bringing that idea back. I'm not sure exactly if this is a one per store, if you had to get this from the Tiny Onion store or what. But there apparently is a foil floating around there, and I do not believe is an exclusive. I believe it's a secret release of some kind. Though I'm not 100% sure yet what it might be. I'm not a retailer. I'm not a dealer. I don't have a store. I'm just basing it off of what I've seen so far, and it's not Wednesday yet. So this book ain't out yet. So I'm doing the best with the information that's out there. Now, with that said, and my mentions of those blind bag pack rippers that kind of spoiled things for Battle Beast, though they were warned not to, if you haven't tried Whatnot, now's your chance. Use the link down below to sign up and get yourselves a free 15 bucks on me. Buy whatever you want from whomever you want. You help out the channel. You get yourself something nice just to try it out. You really got nothing to lose if you haven't tried Whatnot already. Free 15 bucks just by signing up down below. Use that link. And with that, let's keep it rolling and get on to my recommendation portion of this show. So, again, I know I've opened it up for viewer recommendations, which are still out there. You guys want to keep recommending things, I'll get to them. So feel free in the comments down below, make some recommendations for all of us and myself personally, and I'll take a look. But what I'm recommending to you guys to give a try, if you haven't already, is an interesting title. I'll admit it's not for everyone. It's definitely not for everyone in the sense that it is not suitable for all. So with that, I find this title very funny. I like the first run of it, so I'm looking forward to the next run of it, and that is Money Shot over at Vault. Yes, a lot of inappropriate stuff in here, but to me, it's funny, it's amusing, and I enjoyed the first run, so I'm looking forward to see where they go next with this. Actually, this is more like the third run, but with this next story arc, I'm curious where they're going to go. So we do have a cover A option here, cover B here as well, and then we have some, one more. Little throwback to the Sex Criminals cover. This one featuring Patton Oswalt, though. The video store guy from Seinfeld. I like that's how he chose to represent himself, as from that small cameo role on Seinfeld. But with that said, fun homage cover here as well. And then we do have some black bag versions of things that I either don't have the cover art or I can't show you because, again, they're not suitable for all. So, with that said, there will be a Tula Lotte cover here, I believe. Here is a censored version of one that's like a crossover with Lilith cover. Another censored cover here where they've blacked out the bits that may not be blacked out when you open up your poly bag. So, keep that in mind as well. And then one more option here. Again, these are censored, So those bits that you're not seeing, those bits may be revealed in the copies you actually buy if you open those poly bags. Just so you're aware. Like I said, it's a funny title to me. I'm looking forward to reading it, and sometimes you need a good laugh. Now, with that said, I'm recommending you guys give that a try if you haven't read it already, but I'm also recommending stuff to myself to try this week with some new stuff coming out. I mean, obviously, I've gotten Battle Beast and Exquisite Corpses. Those are two number ones that are they're in my pull list. Another book that I've thought about putting in my pull list, but I'm also on the fence about it because it's not that I'm super looking forward to it, but you know what? I'll give it a try, and that's what's going to be here in my taste test book. And, well, actually, before I get to that, I got to cover what I did last week. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. But last week's taste test, I gave myself to try this Dark Horse Los Monsters title. It's like a city full of classic movie monsters, just kind of in the mix, regular people, but it's just like a city, almost like a, think of it a Fable town with the Mundies. You remember Fables back in the day? It's kind of had that kind of vibe to it. But I enjoyed this first issue. Looking forward to checking it out some more. But that's what I challenged myself with to try as a taste test last week. Now, this week, I'll give it a try, but I'll admit, I'm not the biggest Supergirl fan. She's not one of my favorites. It's just, never has been. But then again, Batgirl wasn't one of my favorites, and that's one of my favorite titles running right now. So with that said, let's see if the Maiden of Might returning is going to do anything for me. I know she's got a movie coming, so that's part of the reason we need to get this reboot, revamp, new influx of readers and excitement going. It's because we got a movie coming. I do like the cover A. It's fine. A lot of other good covers here as well. We do got an art germ. Not bad. We've got a Pablo Villalobos. Also, not bad. But as I mentioned before, it's just, I thought about all of these. Like, I thought about the art germ. I thought about the Villalobos, but I felt like I just seen this. I don't know if it was a Power Girl cover or what, but it seemed familiar. So I went another way. I thought about the Middleton here too. Another good option with Middleton. But then I don't know if it was like I forget who the singer is, but there was like an old 90s, almost like a folk singer that her face just kind of reminded me of, just a real soft singer. Not like a Bjork, but I'm just drawing a blank. Anyway, the face, it just reminded me of somebody else, and it just completely distracted me. And with that, the Middleton's not bad, but I just couldn't pick that one either. There's a sketch cover, so if you want to get blank sketches, obviously, we got blank sketch options. Oh, and of course, if you like shiny foil, we'll take that art germ, we'll take some of the extra bits off of it, and we'll make that a shiny foil one for you if you really want it. Cool? Cool. 1 in 25? Well, we got a 1 in 25 for you. We'll do the Bilquist, is it? I can't remember how to pronounce her name either, but Supergirl, 1 in 25 option here as well as a 1 in 50 by Forbes, which I like a lot. Because I don't know why I like these scene setting kind of like covers so much, but I do. It's like the cover itself's telling a story. She's sitting there on the bus. You got the backpack. You got the signage. You got the birds. I don't know. I just like it. I just like it. So this 1 in 50, despite the fact, again, I'm not paying a 1 in 50 price for basically anything these days, unless it's really something I got to have. It's out there. I'll think about it, but it's out there. With that said, before we move on, any of you out there who need supplies, get yourself your bags, your boards over at BCW. Use my code RENA10 to save yourself 10% off your entire order. You got to buy some of this stuff anyway, so get your bags, your boards, long boxes, short boxes, CGC boxes, top loaders, pages for your cards, top loaders for your cards. Anything you need to keep your comics and collectibles safe, there's probably a product over there that you're going to be buying anyway, so save yourself 10% off when you do by using my code RENA10. You can also use the link down below as well, but just use the code, save yourself some money because you got to buy it anyway. Why not save some bucks while you do it? Now, with that said, let's keep it rolling and check out the Writing It Out section. This is basically an extension of my pull list, but maybe some titles that I'm a little behind on reading, but I'm going to be getting them anyway. Whether they're ongoing titles that I'm not going to let slip or miniseries that I got to finish up, etc. So that's the idea behind Writing It Out. First up in this segment and in this section, we are going to go with something I've said I wanted for a while now. And while I haven't loved the first two arcs, they've been good enough for me to continue, and I want to see where we go next. So I'm writing out Batman Dark Patterns, this part 3 of the ventriloquist storyline. I mean, it was basically Scarface more so than ventriloquist, and this whole idea with him being a building is kind of odd, but I'll deal with it. Again, not my favorite, but it's interesting enough, and I do want more detective tales out of Batman, so I will stick around for a little bit more. With that said, this is the cover A. There is a cover B. Ashley Wood. Oh, sorry for the G.I. Joe thing. Darn it. Hopefully I don't have any more of those errors built into the deck by reusing last week's slides. But do like the Ashley Wood cover, and that's the one I'm probably going to pick up when I get this. Now, with that said, another title, just a little bit behind. I'm just only like an issue or so behind with the Lady Geiger thing. So Lady Geiger still all the rage here with Geiger 14. I just got to play a little catch up is all. But I'm still on board for a Ghost Machine. I like these titles. And yeah, so it's in the Writing It Out segment. Cover A. We do have a cover B out. Oh, darn it, there's a G.I. Joe again. But it doesn't last long. And then we've got the old Molly Rivets kind of call back there. Nice homage, as well as a third option if you want the C cover. All open order. Pick which one you like. No incentives to worry about there. Okay, let's see if we have one more that has G.I. Joe in the background, unfortunately. World Tree. Now, this is the title I had considered. It was on the fence, I believe, a month or two ago. But at this point, we are so far into this next arc, I'm just going to write it out. At this point, again, I'm behind on reading it, but I like the first, storyline, story arc, etc. Before we got here, so I'll give it a shot. It's just, I almost got to the point where I've overbought. So it's like, well, I might as well just get the last few to end this arc as well, and then I'll make a call. But I do got to catch up on my reading. Cover A is really nice. I feel like this isn't not suitable for cover, but things, I guess, are blacked out, blurred out enough. We do have a B cover here with some more cables and curled up fetal positions. We do have a 1 in 15. Why we went 15, I don't know, but pretty cool. Lots going on here as well. And then we do have a really creepy, but I really like it, 1 in 25 option here. I think this is David Talaski, if I'm not mistaken. But just her, it's kind of creepy. Like, it's kind of gross. She's climbing out of the mouth with all this green dribbles and slime, but it's messed up, and I dig it. I don't know. But that is coming out this week as well. 1 in 25 option. Now, here's another title. A little behind on Daredevil currently. So I don't know why he looks like Clayface right now. I'll have to catch up. Just being fair. So Daredevil 21 is something I've got to go and catch up on. With that said, there is a darn it, the G.I. Joe's still here. It's probably going to be in the whole Writing It Out section. So we do have a movie, or the art of television, showing the design of the Daredevil costume for Born Again, and then we do have an Elektra fighting. Can we just call her Elektra again? I know I've complained about this enough, but just sick of the. We don't need 2 Deadpools. We don't need 2 Daredevils. Just give them their own names. With that said, let's move on. So don't stick and start getting on a rant. We'll keep moving on. Uncanny X-Men. I'm going to keep buying, as I mentioned multiple times. X-Men, Uncanny. Those runs aren't going to stop. I'm a little behind. Not 100% loving the direction we've been lately, but it's not been as bad as it was prior. It's just still not where I want to be. But I got to catch up. Issue 14 is obviously going to get picked up. Cover A option here. Let's see. No G.I. Joe this time. Cool. We got a B option. And we also have an animation variant here, which is kind of fun. So I don't know. I might think about this because I do like X-Men 97 quite a bit. And Gambit and Rogue are 2 of my favorites. So I might pick this one up. But I'll probably just get the A. Or maybe if I get a little saucy, get myself the 1 in 25. Because for one reason or another, I do like this 1 in 25 by Megan Hetrick. I don't know. Just got a really cool cover. I like the kimono. Maybe that's it. I'm still in the Assassin's Creed Shadows mindset, and anything in that realm is just kind of piquing my interest lately. I don't know. But I do like this 1 in 25. And then there is a 1 in 50 of that designish cover, or the character spotlight cover, if you will. That's the 1 in 50. And they've been doing that the whole run. So not surprised. When you saw that B cover, you should have known this was coming. There was going to be a 1 in 50 variant for it as well. Now, with that said, another title that I've still got to catch up because I like the first arc, but I'm really behind on reading the second arc is I Heart Skull Crusher. But still getting them. So I'm going to ride it out. I'm going to keep getting them. This is cover A. There is a B cover. Pretty cool. Kind of a 80s vibe. Looks like something you would see on the wall at the Max. You Saved by the Bell fans know what I'm talking about. And then we can take trade dresses off and give you some other options, including one of them being the 1 in 10. So there you go. Virgin versions of the 2 options there. Now, with that said, we'll go from things that I'm definitely going to keep getting no matter what to things I'm on the fence about. So here's some titles that maybe I'll keep getting, maybe I won't. So on the fence, what am I on the fence about this week? Well, this week, I don't know, what am I on the fence about? Oh, that's right. Might be near the end of my Wolverine run. As I mentioned before, I'm still not completely out because now we got to see the new direction because we just had the milestone 400th issue. So Legacy issue 401, got to see where we're going to go here. They bring back some Harpoon and Vertigo. Haven't seen some characters in a while. We'll see. I'll give it one more shot. I'm on the fence. See where their new direction's going. Cover A option here. There is a B option as well as a 1 in 25 that I can talk about as well. Again, if I'm not showing you all the covers, it's because they're going to be shown in another segment later on. So just keep that in mind if I miss anything. That's the only title I'm on the fence about, which will take us to the section where I'm telling you now I'm out. I was on the fence previously, but now I'm out. No more. And with that, I'm out. Well, for this week, I don't have any cuts. No new cuts, so I'm not saving any bucks this week with titles that I'm out on yet. But Wolverine on the fence. There's some other things still out there on the fence, so we'll see. Eventually, there will be some more cuts to shave my budget down a little bit. So there's going to be a larger section like we have this week in Left on the Shelf. So there is a pretty big Left on the Shelf section this week because there's a lot of titles I just can't keep up with. Because, again, I got a budget. You got a budget. We all got our budgets to deal with, right? But I still want to talk about the books and still share what's out there because even though it's not for me, maybe it's for you. Now, with that said, let's get into the first Left on the Shelf title, which is a popular one. The first 2 issues got hot out of the gate, right off the shelf. Will it happen for a third time? Sister Imperator number 3? Maybe not. Usually by issue 3, orders catch up and the interest isn't quite the same, but who knows? We'll see as the week plays out. But either way, this isn't a title that's for me. I'm just not that into it or interested. So, but I know people will be. And there are people out there who do want this. So issue 3 is coming out this week. Keep an eye on it. Who knows? On the Superman side of things, Action Comics. Just can't keep up with all this stuff. Yes, Kilgore's clutches. Cool. I just can't keep up with everything. So Action's kind of sitting out there, despite the fact that here's the cover A. I do really like this cover B. It's just kind of fun. You got Lois and you got everything blowing. It's just, I don't know, it sets a scene. I told you, I like it when there's a scene or a story being told on a cover. So I like it. And then there's a C option, which to me is just pretty meh. It's just again, that wouldn't be my choice. B is my choice all day on this one. But there is a third option if you're interested, as well as a classic 1 in 25, which I do really like. And this also nearly made the variant cut for me. It's a very simple Superman doing the reveal, but it's done very well. I like the pop of red in the background. Almost made the cut. But 1 in 25 option there. And this is also Takaro. I forget who did this one. But I like it. Now, moving on, another title I'm not getting over at DC is Aquaman. Just not my guy. Aquaman's just not my guy. That's all. But we do have the 5th issue of his new series running, and the art looks pretty solid here on the cover A. It's not bad. I really dig the cover B here as well. Really nice cover B here with the mermaid. I like it. Almost made the cut. This one was number 6. Almost made the cut on my top 5. And then, well, we do have a third option here, which ain't bad. I think it's Elizabeth Torque. But solid across the board. It's just Aquaman's not my guy. So I'm just not picking this one up. And there is a 1 in 25 for anybody who wants the 1 in 25, even though it looks like he's dribbling all over himself. I know it's water and all that, but still, it just looks kind of silly when it looks like he's in the sky dribbling water out of his mouth, like he's drooling. That's all I see. With that said, let's keep it rolling. Another title, can't keep up with. Batman and Robin. Just too many bad titles. And there's usually good art on these as well. Like Simone DeMeo, I believe, was doing art and interior and cover on these for a while. But here we are, issue 21 already. Cover A. Pretty cool cover B option here with the octopus. It's creepy. I mean, almost looks like a Jokerized Robin face there with that grin. I know he's grimacing, but it does look kind of like a Joker grin. But then I really do like this kind of mirrored upstairs, downstairs, Downton Abbey kind of thing we got going here with Wayne Manor. So you got Wayne Manor on top and the Batcave underneath, and juxtaposition of it. Kind of a fun thought, kind of a cool cover. Once again, another one I thought about, but just didn't go with it for this week. And then there is a 1 in 25, but it's something we've seen before. They're leaping into action. Cool. With that said, Marvel, not for me. Marvel stuff, leave it on the shelf. Helverine. Yes, I got the last issue because of the spoiler cover about this Hell Hulk. Now we're getting more of this Hell Hulk. Honestly, I haven't gotten around to reading that last issue with the Hell Hulk in it. I ordered it because it was a spoiler cover, and I always grab spoiler covers because I'm nosy and curious. But I haven't read this yet because, honestly, I just don't have a lot of interest in Helverine. It is what it is, Just is what it is. But issue 6 is out. I know some people are enjoying it, and that's fair. That's fine. And they can go and pick either the cover A option here or the B cover option there. Or if they want, there is a 1 in 10 design variant, thrown out there as well. Pick your poison. Also, a book I probably should be reading, especially with this great Alex Ross run on the covers, is Immortal Thor, which is coming to a conclusion soon. I probably should have been getting this run, but I wasn't. A lot of fourth wall breaking type stuff, and I don't know. It's just I probably should go back and read this. I've heard it was good. It's just the title I just wasn't keeping up with. But Legacy issue 784. This is the cover A, Alex Ross. We got another B cover here option as well. Some kids playing with Thor, action figures, playing dress up, etc. 1 in 25 option as well. Maria Wolf. Pretty cool. I know it's exaggerated. It almost looks like something that you would see sketched on somebody in class who's not paying attention. They're drawn on the bag that covers your textbooks from back in the day. Remember when you used to use shopping bags, old shopping bags, the brown shopping bags from Acme to cover up your textbooks, and then you would draw on them, or you get somebody who could draw to draw on them for you? That's kind of reminds me here of the art in a good way, not in a bad way, in a good way. But I don't know, pretty cool. 1 in 25. Sorry, just went down a nostalgia trip for a second. With that said, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, number 33. Sorry, just need a little bit of water there. So, issue 33, I like Miles. I just haven't been able to keep a steady read, if that makes sense. Maybe it's just because I'm too old and I just too identify with Peter Parker. I don't know. But I just can't consistently keep up with Miles as a title. I'll read it here and there, read arcs now and then, but I just can't seem to keep focused. With that said, cover A option here. There is a B, which is a connecting cover set, which I can show you the 2 parts so far. I don't know how far this is going to go, but these 2 do connect with last month's issue, number 32. So you got your Greek gods and whatnot fighting. You got Ares, you got Hercules. Cool. And there is another cover option here as well in the mix. And then we do have, I believe, a 1 in 25 option as well, as this is God War Part 2. We'll see. One cover here on Spectacular Spider-Men. But again, I'm not keeping up with the regular Miles title. Now I'm not going to keep up with a Peter and Miles title. I just can't do it. There's too many options these days. I know people would say, oh, so many options, such a great thing. I feel like there's too many options these days for titles. And then we get lackluster stuff. People are stretched. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if we need all these titles. But who am I to say? I just can't afford them all. And nor do I have all the time to read them every month either. That's the other problem. But with that said, one cover option, if you're still on board, still into this, just to cover A, and that's it on number 15. Now, I mentioned on the Ultimate Universe side of things, I'm kind of out on a couple of these because I just couldn't keep pace. And like I said, my interest just wasn't really there anymore. I was going through the motions, just reading them because they were new, because they were Ultimates. But I really wasn't excited by, oh, look at what they did with Doctor Strange. Oh, look at what they did with so-and-so. I can get bored of that pretty easily after a time. So it's just one of those things. Again, not criticizing anyone else who is enjoying it. It's just, where I'm at right now. But Ultimate Black Panther 16, that's coming out. I can't believe we're already at 16. But we got a cover A, cover B option here. Pretty cool, actually. I do like that B. And then there is a 1 in 25 as they've been doing. So this is kind of a standard for the Ultimates. If not, there's usually a C. So there might be one more on some titles, but usually the 3-book option is pretty solid, and that's how they've been running things. But extra book here for the Ultimate X-Men, also another title that just couldn't keep up with it. Just wasn't really for me. Peach Momoko, still doing her thing. Again, if I'm missing out and you guys really think I'm missing out, please try to convince me down below, because it's not that I don't want to go back. I just don't feel like I want to go back, if that makes sense. But if I get pushed into it, maybe I need that push. With that said, B option here, pretty cool, pretty creepy. I mean, you're going to get that with a lot of Japanese like body horror type stuff. Yeah, it could be pretty messed up. It could weird you out. But there's a B cover. We got Wednesday Addams here by Stan Sakai on this cover. Kind of fun. Kind of like it, but all I see is Wednesday. I don't see, drawing a blank on her name, the Ultimate X-Men. It doesn't matter. There is a 1 in 10 design, and then we do have a 1 in 25 option here as well, with featuring armor if you want to go that route. Cool. And then finally, last X title even here. Here Lies X Factor. Good. I wasn't into this series. Wasn't into this take. Felt like we've been here before. Don't need a government-sponsored mutant team again. It was just wasn't for me. So never got on board with this run of X Factor. But issue 10, I guess this might be it. We'll see. But we got 2 covers, A and a B. Pick which one you like. I think it's Alan Qua on the second one. Greg Land on the first. Not bad, but I don't know. Like I said, just leaving them on the shelf because I can't get everything. And here's another title. I mean, last issue just came out last week. And now we're getting Silverhawks number 4 this week. I get delays, but stretch some things out. I don't know. It just feels like too much. Mark Spears cover here on Silverhawks number 4. Cool. Not a bad cover. Monstar in the reflection. It's kind of cool. Jay Lee cover. Just like last month. Also kind of cool. Just can't get them all. Too many covers here. Look at these. We got 1, 2, and then we'll go over here to 3. And you got Monstar with his like octopus ship. And then we got this option over here for a 4th. And then, is that not enough? Well, here's a 5th. That not enough? Well, we got a 6th. I'm sorry, is that not enough? Well, then here's a 7th. And then there's variants on all of these. Those are just 7 individual art pieces. And then a 1 in 10 also has new art. Cool. That's 8, right? But seriously, Dynamite. And I know I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with this, and I keep doing this, but I can't help it. One more time. I'm not going to do it again. One more time.
WTF, Gary? WTF. What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck?
Oh, that's right. WTF. Why? I told you, there's already 8 covers with different cover art. And then the ones we do have, granted, they're not all like this, but we've got virgins and foils and foil versions and foil trade dress. And then we recolor all of them to the point where there are. These are not store exclusives. All available. Yes, some might be 1 in 7, some might be 1 in 10, some might be 1 in 15s, some are open order. The point being, why do we have 11 different versions of the same cover? 11 different variations here. Is this necessary? It's the same cover 11 times. 11. Save the trees. Jesus. That's it. I'll try not to do it again because it's every month. It's every month with this. But I feel like this is extra. I feel like we get 8. But 11. It's too much. It's too much boat. It's just too much. All right. One World Under Doom. Let's go on over to Marvel. Marvel's huge event. We'll see if they can turn this thing around. I'm just not loving this. I feel like it's dragged out already. And we're only at issue 4. And that's what we're getting this week. So, One World Under Doom. I think we got last week off. We didn't have any titles. This week, we're getting a handful. They were getting 4. And first one being core title. So, I'm definitely getting this one. Issue 4, One World Under Doom. Dormammu, Doom, head-to-head. Cool. Hopefully, we actually get to see it. And it's not something that played out off-panel like the Zemo stuff that started off this event. With that said, let's see how this plays out. Issue 4, cover A. Pretty cool cover B here. Granoff. Again, thought about it, but it feels like every artist is just giving us this same view of Doom. Like I think we had Delato. It's like everybody get your silhouette shadow Doom shot, headshot going. I like them, but you can't just keep releasing them one on top of another. So sorry, as much as I do like Granoff, he's just coming in following a couple of other artists who've already done this. So I'm just tired of it right now. With that said, I also don't need to see any more of this dinosaur. I don't need this T-Rex Doom anymore. Can we let this go as well? I mean, Jeff the Landshark, I get it. I get the push. Can we let this T-Rex Doom thing go? We're just overdoing it here. Just a little bit. But more coming. More coming. Yep, there's a fourth option. And we've got fifth options here as well. Yep, so many covers. And then, thankfully, we will do a 1 in 50 Virgin of that Granoff, which is cool. Again, it's nice. It's cool, but it's too familiar. I feel like we just saw this. But there we go. Main title Doom. I'm probably going to get the Granoff anyway, but it's going to go in a pile of Doom portraits by different artists, I guess. That's what my One World Under Doom series is going to look like. But other titles we're getting here. Doctor Strange of Asgard, number 3. All right. I mean, I'm still kind of curious about this one. I didn't hate it. Didn't love it. We'll see. This is one of the many series that are running concurrent with this event. But this is one I'm kind of interested in. It's no Doom Academy, but it's also not some of the other titles that we got thrown in here. A couple of covers here, though, including that fun one with him facing off against Sif, which is an obvious callback to Silver Surfer number 4. I like it. It's fun. I'll probably grab that one because I like it. And then also a surprise title that's tying in with One World Under Doom that I'm surprised I like was Red Hulk. Granted, we're at issue 4 now. See how this finishes up. But we got this cover here. I do like the John Boy Myers option right here where it's playing with a trade dress. I've mentioned it numerous times how I like it when characters are interacting with the trade dress. It's classic convention, but still pretty cool. Like that cover by John Boy. And then we do got another option here with a Doombot being broken over his back, which is kind of fun. Fun little image. They probably could have done a Bane homage there, breaking him over the knee, but I like it over the back too. So we got 3 covers there. And then, as I mentioned, some of the titles aren't so great. Thunderbolt's Doomstrike being one of them. I just don't care. I'm just not on board for this. But 4th issue is coming. I don't know how much longer it's going to run, but I don't know. It's not interested personally. Cover A. Cover B is kind of cool. I do like the Bucky cover here. Rod Reese, I think, doing that one. It's not bad, but I'm just not. I'm out on this title because there are so many. So let's give our update rundown. There we go. First 9 parts. Next 9. Let's get through 18. Let's keep it rolling. We got through 27. Keep it going. As of last week, we had 30. Now we'll add this week's editions, which included issue 33, or part 33 was supposed to be Doom Academy, but I think it got pushed to next week. So that's why there's a missing spot. We'll fill it up next week. But with that said, let's get on over to Godzilla. So Godzilla versus Marvel, we are almost done with these one-shot events that will eventually lead to Godzilla versus the whole Marvel universe. But for now, we'll just go with the more one-on-one titles that we've had. Well, one-on-one character, one-on-one teams. We had a one-on-one character, Spider-Man last. Now we're going to go back to a team fight. Team in this case being the X-Men. So Godzilla versus the X-Men. All right. Obviously, I like Godzilla. I like the X-Men. So I'm giving this a shot, despite the fact that I have not really loved any of these crossovers. We'll hope. Cover A option here. We do have a cover B right there. Fight Night. I do like the fight posters. They're probably the best of the bunch out of these because a lot of these are not great. Like those other covers are all right, but they're nothing special. But I do like the fight poster. We do have a shiny foil, which is okay. Okay, not loving it. We do have this option here, a little throwback. I think this is Bradshaw. So you got Godzilla just, I guess we're in the Savage Land. I don't know what we're looking at. But we do got an homage. We got a little throwback here with Godzilla versus X-Men. So we got the X-Men facing off against our big bad, our big kaiju, which is a callback to King of Monsters #3. Kind of fun, right? Instead of Herc throwing a piece of the ground, Beast apparently is throwing a fastball special this time. Cool. And then we do still have more options. We still got this. We just got Godzilla just kind of just chilling there. Professor X in the background. Don't know who he's trying to communicate with. He is a big lizard. But here we go. 1 in 25 options as well as a 1 in 100 version of said Professor X in the background cover. Again, which ain't bad. But I don't know. I might get the fight poster on this one. Might get the fight poster. Or I might get the Professor X with the trade dress. We'll see. We'll see when I see what's in the shop. All right, with that said, let's keep it rolling. We're already 50 minutes in. I got to speed this show up. I want these to be under an hour. These have been stretching over an hour because maybe I'm covering too many books. If I'm covering too many books, please tell me down below, and I'll try to tighten things up because I can't be talking by myself for this long. I start losing my voice after a while. But we do have new #1s to get to next. Now, not many new #1s that I didn't already cover that I'm going to cover here, but we do have a few. I mean, I've already talked about Supergirl. I already talked about Exquisite Corpses. I already talked about Battle Beast. The Energon universe was also a new #1. There are a few others, like Huck, Big Bad World. Mark Millar doing another Huck series. I honestly don't think I read the first Huck. I have them all, and they all had movie poster variants, and I got all those. But I honestly don't remember if I read this or not. I think I did, but I don't remember. So if I did read it, I must not have thought too highly of it if I don't remember it. That said, we're getting a new volume from Dark Horse with a couple of covers. We got a cover A, we got a cover B by Jay Lee, and then we do have a black and white version, I believe. Yes, a black and white version of that cover A as well, if you want to go that route. Cool. Speaking of Godzilla, he's not just fighting X-Men, he's also fighting aliens. So Godzilla, here there be aliens. Okay. Cool. It's little spacemen and flying saucers. We're getting that. Cover A, cover B, and if you want, there is a version 1 in 25 of that cover A that you can get as well. Cool. Moving on. The Cold Witch. So this is coming out of the Shrouded College universe. I'm not reading any of those titles. I don't know if are they based off like books or something, or is this just new? I don't know. But Charles Soule, Will Sliney. I mean, it's a good creative team. I just don't know much about this. If I should be checking it out, well, please let me know. But the Cold Witch issue 1 is coming out this week with a cover A. I do like the 1 in 10, this ice pop kind of advertisement thing we got going here. It looks fun. And then we got a coin cover on the 1 in 50, which I think I have seen these before. So with, I guess, the other tie, the Shrouded College stuff. All right, Archie. Betty and Veronica's Spy Girls. Okay. I don't know. These titles just seem to come and go. But here we go. And then we've got not incentive. We got like store exclusives and lots of homages and things like that usually come out of these. But here we go with a cover A. And yeah, I don't know who this Medusa Doom is. But we got a green broad with Martian the Manhunter. Marvin the Martian weapon in her hand, looks like. Cool. Get it if you like. What is this? Oni. This is Dark Regards. So we got some metal. We got some darkness. Sometimes you break the internet, and sometimes the internet breaks you. At last, the true story of the viral hoax, so insane that can only be told as a comic book. All right. I'm not entirely sure what this is, but from writer, comedian, actor, musician Dave Hill, Tasteful Nudes, and breakout artist Artyom Toplin, I hate this place, comes the shockingly true, terrifyingly hilarious, and only modestly exaggerated tale of how one stand-up comedian forged a secret online identity as America's first true black metal icon and accidentally started an international incident that almost wiped Gary, Indiana off the map. I don't know this story. It sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know it all that well. That's the beginning of it. I'm not reading any more, but there's more to be read here as they try to sell you this book, and there's a whole second paragraph. So something about 2 decades ago, high school auditoriums, yada, yada, yada. I don't know, but we've got covers with an A. There's a B. 1 in 10 is pretty cool. Pretty creepy. I like it. 1 in 10 is not bad. 1 in 20, also pretty cool. It's almost got like an American traditional tattoo kind of style to it. And then we do have a 1 in 50 here as well. Cool. Also looks like something you would draw on your Acme bag, you know, brown bag cover to your textbook. Just saying. Moving on. Keen Spot. The Glopple. The Ringo-nominated all-ages hero teams with Keen Spot. I don't know who Glopple is, but apparently Glopple is a big deal. Ringo-nominated and all. So Gloppo coming to Keen Spot with cover A, cover B. And then we can go with a black and white version of that cover B as well, if you like your sketch versions of Glopples. And then we even have a 1 in 10 here as well. Okay. I don't know anything about this. This is not for me, so cool. Glopple fans, go for it. Toxic Avenger pinup special. I don't know what this is all about. Like, I don't know. Do we have a lot of good pinups for Toxic Avenger? And do they all include, you know, I think he was over in Japan, as Marco would tell the story of how they go to the bathroom, all pulled down, you know, pants all the way down to go. Because apparently that's the case here for Toxie. So cover A, and then there's a virgin cover of this as well, which I think doesn't have the black box covering his tuchus, but hey, it is what it is. Get it if you like it. Over at Marvel, all new, all deadly Gwenpool, because okay. I know we've been talking about this for a while now coming up, but I don't know. I don't know if we need this. I'll probably read it just because I'm kind of morbidly curious to what this could be, but all right, here we go. A Dark Gwenpool. Cover A. Cover B option here as well by Greg Land. Not bad. Gihiru, I kind of like this one. Thought about it. I like her ripping up the other comic. Cool. Gwen Stacy, we got the Tombstone cover here, not bad as well. And then yeah, this is a pretty solid. Is it Inyukli? This is a pretty solid cover, but again, I feel like I've seen it before. That's all. But we'll put that one aside for a second because we do have a 1 in 25 by Godtail. Not bad. Her and Jeff the Landshark jumping through with things, kind of fun. And then we'll get that pink one back and make that our Virgin 1 in 100, which again, solid. I dig it. It's pretty cool. It just looks familiar. That's all. But with that said, let's get on over to Spider-Verse versus Venomverse because I guess we've run out of iterations of both. So let's put them together. So no more edges, no more deaths, no more returns of verses. Let's just put the verses versus each other. Whatever. I'm sure there's be a lot of new Spider this, Spider that, Venom this, Venom that. I am exhausted even thinking about this title. So not for me. That's all. Cover A, cover B. I don't know what's with the Guar Venom there. We got that, and it looks like there's a spider character with, I don't know, anal beads in the back of her head. I don't know what's going on here. And this look kind of cool. I think, is this the Dracula one? I don't remember. There's so many different spider things and verses and variations. It is mentally exhausting. But cool cover. I kind of like it. It's just this title. I just can't. And there's a foil. If you want to get foil, you can get it shiny. There's a 1 in 25 option here as well. If you want to go that route, cool. And then we do have a 1 in 50, which is a version of that Guar fight with in there. You can see what I was talking about. You see the beads now, right? You get the Benoit balls. You see them? That's what I'm talking about. And then we do have the 1 in 100, which is, again, a pretty cool cover. And I do like the virgin version of it. It's pretty solid, actually. But I just can't. It's too many spider characters. But with that said, we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just being a curmudgeon. I don't know. Let's get with the oversized stuff, though. Oversized stuff. What are we talking about here? We're talking about magazine size, distillery size, black label from DC at a time. But for this week, we're getting a little catch-up. We're getting Battle Action magazine, Battle Action, issue 6 out of Rebellion, as well as issue 7. So they're playing a little bit of catch-up. Garth Ennis and some other stories inside here, anthology-type magazine stuff. Battle Action 6 and 7, playing catch up coming out this week, along with Judge Dredd's magazine. I forget what issue this is, like 409 million and 212, whatever. A lot of Judge Dredd. But we're getting a new Judge Dredd magazine coming out this week. So keep your eye on those if you're into that kind of stuff. Now, Facsimiles. Facsimiles. Not many this week, just a couple. So let's run through it pretty quickly if we can. First facsimile going to be on the DC side of things. We are getting that one-shot special, Legends of the Dark Knight Halloween special by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, redone with a regular facsimile cover and a, of course, shiny foil version, because they have to do both. Speaking of which, Marvel's doing it too, this time with Fantastic Four number 5, which you know is the first Doctor Doom. So Doctor Doom here, awesome idea for a facsimile, yes. Definitely, we could use it. People can't afford. I can't afford to get a regular one, but you can get a facsimile if you want to read it. Cover A. You can get sketches if you want to get it on a blank. If you really want a shiny foil, you can get a shiny foil. And then for whatever reason, Marvel decided to give you new cover art as well. So there's a pretty cool Ryan Brown cover on that. I still don't understand different covers on facsimiles, but we'll leave it there. As we get on to later prints. So, not many here, but we do have a few later prints to go over as well. We're going to start over on Image and then hop on, I think, on over to Marvel. But first things first, at Image, we're getting the third print of Assorted Crisis Events, issue 1. Surprises is getting up to third already, but here we are, third print already. Book of Nyx is getting issue 1, second print, along with issue 2, I believe, comes out this week as well. So you can play catch up, read them both if you're planning to do that. I don't know why Phantom Road is, and issue 11 getting a second print here. I haven't been reading this. I read like the first issue or two of this, and it was like, all right, I kind of see where they're going, but it just wasn't something I was into at the time. But here we are. It's 11 issues in, and for one reason or another, it sold well enough that it demanded a second print for issue 11. So good on them. I guess maybe it's a new story arc starting. That'd be my best guess. But over at Marvel, we're also getting that second print of all new Venom number 5, showing you a weird look at MJ coming out of the Venom costume. It's just a weird image, this one. It's like she's coming out of a mech. And then we do have this option here as well, which was the secret one. Remember when they handed these out for one per store, the secret covers? Well, now we got a recolored version for a second print. It is not an incentive. There actually is no incentive for this one. Just 2 covers, which is weird. Surprise, Marvel didn't go for an incentive here. But they did on Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe one last time, as we got a second print here with the Lionel Francis Yu cover, and then they took the Panosian, made it a black and white, and they dapped the 1 in 25 incentive on the second print. So despite the fact they didn't do a second print on the Venom thing, they're doing it here on this book. Okay, inconsistent. Moving on. DC stuff. Let's get on to all of the signature variants for the month of May. DC AAPI Heritage Month. Only one cover this time. We had a couple last week. This week, we're only getting one new addition to this, and it's going to be, excuse me, I think on the Superman, Action, not Superman, Action Comics 1086. We've got the I think it's the Chinese Superman, or the Superman from China. There you go. New series of variants starting. We're getting DC Studios Superman covers. So randomly, we're getting cover art featuring the movie Superman on some titles coming out this summer, I guess. I don't know if it'll be just this month of May or if we're going to get this extended out. But I noticed this here on Supergirl number 1. There's Superman. There's Corn Sweat coming to theaters July 2025. I don't know why you would choose this cover over all of the other good Supergirl covers that actually feature Supergirl on them. But you do have this if you want it. Also, Super Smash Up variants. What are Super Smash Up variants? Well, we've seen similar things before, but let's take all of the DC characters and make them all Superman. It's almost like Dark Knight's Metal with Batman, but we'll do it with Superman. But we're just doing it on covers. We're going to do it for fun, but don't be surprised if any of these get any popularity or any support behind them. We will see these characters come into existence one way or another, forced however it may be. If there's any interest in any of these, they will make it. That said, Aquaman as Superman. Okay, cool. There's a handful of these coming too. And to be honest, I actually ordered them all because I thought it would be a fun little thing to do. And yeah, I don't know why. It's just one of those weird things. Impulse. When I was seeing them on the pre-orders a couple months ago, I was like, "What are these covers?" I'm like, you know what? What the hell? I'll get them all because I think there's like 8, and you get them for like $2 a piece. It's not bad. With that said, we'll see where we go from here. But for now, we're going over to the iconic variants over at Marvel. You know, the Todd Knock white cover one-shot images. And we've got another one to add to the pile. No idea how many or when these will end. But we've got Gwenpool this week, right? I think that's the cover. That's right. There it is. Gwenpool. So, classic Gwenpool. Not the new dark Gwenpool, but classic Gwenpool on the new Gwenpool #1. Cool? Cool. Impossible Man variant this week. Only one. Once again, only one. Kind of disappointed by that. I do kind of like these. Impossible Man's kind of crazy, kind of silly, kind of fun. Interesting homages they've chosen so far. But here's one we've seen before, and we'll see it again. But for this week on Immortal Thor, actually, we've got Loki holding Thor, much like X-Men. So Cyclops holding Jean Grey, very popular, very iconic image, if you will. So like I said, we've seen this one before. We'll see it again, but it's still cool. It's still interesting. That's our new cover for this week. We'll get 4 new ones for next week, and then we'll go on from there with the last 2. We're getting a handful more of Alex Ross's Timeless variants. So there are going to be 16 of these. We got 2 last week. I think we got 4 new ones to add to the pile this week. Starting off with over on Daredevil, we got an Iron Fist. I had to include what cover or what book it was on, so I knew what title it was. Because as you can see, that's not Daredevil featured on Daredevil. It's Iron Fist. And there is a 1/100 option as well. On the One World Under Doom issue 4, we're getting, I forget this dude's name, but 1/100 option as well. Sorry, just drawing a blank, and after an hour, my throat's going. My voice is kind of going on me, so I'm speeding through. Photon, Captain Marvel, Plasma, I don't know what other name she has. Rambo, Thunderbolts, number 4. Yeah, and a 1/100 if you need the sketch. And then on Immortal Thor, we got Valkyrie with her tin can chest plates. Cool. Play a little knock-knock. There's a 1/100 there as well. You want to go sketch-wise. And that's our next chunk of those. Getting a whole mess of them next week. We're getting 8. Half the run, doubling up next week. So next week will be a big week. All right, we're almost near the end, so let's just cover some covers. I didn't have this segment last week. We're adding it in here now with a new display of covers. And these are just covers that I like. Didn't fit anywhere else. Just wanted to speak to them. They may not be the top 5, but they're just covers that I liked. A lot of Spawn stuff in here. But first, we're going to go over to Usagi Yojimbo. This 10,000 Plums, part 3 of 5. This Jennifer Meyer cover. It's beautiful. I just like it. It's just nice art. I probably should have put this in my top 5, but I didn't. I missed it. Just kind of reordering things. This probably should have made it now that I'm looking at it. Well, maybe I'll make an update before Attack on Wednesday. With that, we do have DC Vampires World War V. Again, it's a title I'm not reading. I thought about putting this in the Left on the Shelf segment because I know a lot of people are reading this ongoing extended storyline, but it's usually covers that I think are pretty cool. And so I felt like, you know what, I'll just cover the covers that I like here in covers. So the Danny cover here featuring Black Canary, cool. And then we've got this Bjorn Barons, really creepy vampire Barda, which it's messed up. Just those dead eyes and the fangs. Pretty cool. And then over on Spawn, so we got King Spawn, issue 45. Jesus, 45 issues of this. But we got Puppeteer Lee giving us a really creepy clown. We're also got this Spawn just ripping his own face off with just skulls and things coming out of the top of his head by Von Randall. Another just cool looking cover. Regular Spawn title also. We're just seeing Spawn just kind of chilling on a light lamppost by Federico Mele, if I'm saying the name right. And then finally, Carlos Barbary. just giving me a Shadows of Colossus. Remember that video game from back in the day? That's what it kind of reminded me of. Just big kaiju Colossus thing in the background. I don't know. Just look cool. I just like the perspective. Just the I like the glare. I like that you don't see it very clearly. It gives it a sense of scope and distance. Well done. All right. Finally, cheesecake covers, and then we can wrap it up for today. Because again, my voice is going on me here. But we don't have many, but we do got a handful. So let's get, that's no pun intended there. But we do have a handful of covers to cover. So we'll start off with Fire and Ice, When Hell Freezes Over. I didn't love the first issue, but for some reason, I feel like I'm going to read this second one. I don't know why. It's probably because while I like the Dodson, nice cover there, I like this Dan Mora cover. So I think I'm just going to get this Dan Mora cover, and I'll probably end up reading what's inside it because I like it. I just like the, again, if you know what's going on in the story with the power switch and everything, I like the juxtaposition, mix-up, mash-up of the panels of the two characters together. I like it. And then we do have this C option here as well. Also playing off the similar theme, but I like the Dan Mora cover. And again, I don't know, I've been on a Dan Mora kick lately, looking up all this stuff and doing some research onto some pricey covers that he's had over the last few years. Moving on, though. Red Sonja versus Army of Darkness. So we got issue 2 coming out. Ash, Red Sonja, teaming up. Fjord Barons. Cool. We've also got other options here, as well as he's kind of, looks like a creeper, hiding in the bushes, watching her with a unicorn. It's kind of creepy. Then we've got this option here where they just, I don't know why he's looking at her and not looking at the fight. I guess, again, just being creepy during the fight. I don't know, perv. Moving on. Here's the two of them fighting a big snake. Cool. All right. Phoenix. Just a nice cover. It's a nice cover of the Phoenix, but at this point, I just feel like that's all they're giving me, these covers. I just don't know. I don't know what we could see on the inside of this that would, I don't know how many more cosmic level threats we can have. But an all new arc is starting here. Maybe it is something good. I don't know. I've just been out on reading the Jean Grey Phoenix title for a while, but we got a Joe Quesada cover here as well. He loves doing that stained glass filigree kind of stuff in the background. So he's got it right there. We also have a Peach Momoko option if you want to go that route. And then we'll bring back the Quesada and take the trade dress off of it, and there will be our 1 in 50 version. So if you want that, there you go. All right, this would have fallen in new number 1s, but Hot Valley Days and Cocaine Nights, part 1 of 3, the true story of Janie, we're not telling you. Okay, 1978, it's something. It's something. Cover A. Oh, here we go. Yes, this would have been a new number 1 section. But we got it here in the cheesecake section because, again, of the little bit of a fishnet top. But we do have a sketch cover option. And then we will also slap some foil on this thing if you want a foil one. And then we'll also just take all the color out of it if you want a black and white version of it. Your choice. That's the 1 in 20, by the way. Let's go over to Zenescope. And while Myths and Monsters Spring 2025 edition doesn't have all cheesecake covers, this Josh Burns, I believe this is Josh Burns, definitely fits the bill. As does this cover here with the cheetah cat lady. I forget who did this one. Ortiz. And then there is a naughtier version of that for a 1 in 20 if you're into that. So with that, that's it. But before we wrap up for the day, I keep mentioning my favorite covers of the week, so let's get to that next. And that is best covers of the week. So what would be the best cover of the week, in my opinion? Again, you can tell me what your favorite covers are down below in the comments. These are just my picks. And maybe I'll change my mind before the week's out. But for now, I like, as far as incentive variants go, I like the Forbes Supergirl. Again, it's got like a story kind of vibe to it, or sitting on the bench. We got a lot going on. It's just, I don't know, I just like it. I just like it. And the fact that it is unique to the 1 in 50, there were no trade dress and non-trade dress versions. That also adds to its appeal to me because, I don't know, I just like it. So that is my personal pick for the incentive of the week. Just, again, the cover that I like. I'm not saying to go invest in this or this is going to be pricey or anything like that. It's just, I just like the art. That's all. That's all I'm talking about. Just like on the regular cover of the week, bounced around on ideas of what was my favorite cover of the week for a while. And then eventually I settled in on the Brian Boland. Why? It's just creepy. Just something about this Mr. Freeze, this version of Mr. Freeze peeking through his long fingers, his Nosferatu fingers, and those long arms. It's exaggerated in all the creepiest ways. I just like it. That's all. And it makes me look at it and look away and then look at it again. I like it. So it's my favorite of the week. And with that, that's all I got for you this week. Again, sorry, losing my voice. I got to trim this thing down one way or another. I got to get this back under an hour. I don't know if it's just the new presentation slowing me down or if I'm talking about more books. Either way, I feel like I got to trim. I know some of you said you don't mind, but I'm losing my voice as I'm going through these things. But with that said, I still want to thank you for all the support. It is appreciated. And I want to say we got plenty more coming your way. I'm going to try to get more dollar bin diggings. I mean, obviously, you're going to get the Hot 10. You're going to get the Wednesday watch list every week. And then I do tack on Wednesdays, but try to do some more sneaky keys where I can. Some more chasing ghosts. Got to bring those back. I still got a couple of those planned to give you those. And then, like I said, more dollar bin diggings coming your way. Plenty of options. And then I got to do some more stuff over on the Toy channel. Over on Toy Informer, I've let it kind of sit for a couple of months, but I still have a couple of shows planned for even there too. I just need more time. I'm almost past the busy personal time with all my family members' birthdays and everything like that. It's been keeping me busy the last few weekends. But hopefully I'll be able to catch up on some of this stuff soon. So with that all said, hopefully you're enjoying it and enjoying the ride here. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make your suggestions. Tell me what your favorite covers are for the week. And I'll see you all later with some more content. All right.